All right, it's time for another recap of the Amazing Race European Adventure, or as I like to call it, is anything happening?
It's kind of a boring season, personally.
I hate to say that because we're recapping it, and things are happening, but I'm just like, I need some more suspense and drama.
I think it's the Big Brother teams. You know, we've seen them on Big Brother. Goodbye. Give us some fresh faces.
I agree with you. That's why I always like Big Brother, to have new people in.
And my biggest thing is, like, you have Jag, the brothers, and then the sisters all working together. And it's like, stop.
Stop.
When you're working together that much, it gets tiring.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
I want to see some competitiveness.
Exactly.
Everybody's out for themselves. It's not Big Brother. You don't need alliances, really.
Right. No, you want first.
Yeah, they're playing this game like it's Big Brother, and it's not.
Yeah, well, that's what they know.
Well, when we start, so I was so excited last week because you know I'm rooting for Tucker and Eric. They're my team. They're my boys because I love them on Big Brother.
Yeah.
So they get first place. Then to start this episode, I feel like there's a complete reset because everybody's on the same plane to Croatia.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter who checked in first or last.
That's true. That's what stinks. It would be my luck if I ever did the Amazing Race. I would get first the one time where the next day everybody's put back in the same boat.
Right back in the same boat. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, you get first. Congrats. I guess because they did win prizes, though.
Yeah, they won the prizes. That's
But I'm still like, okay, now I'm on the edge of my seat, and it takes everything in me not to fast forward to see the end because I get so anxious because I want to know what's happening. But anyway, so Croatia, they arrive, detour.
So for this detour, we have Fisherman's Hall, which the teams have to deliver a heavy fishing net while also picking up a bucket of chum along the way to deliver it down by the waterfront. Or we have Skinnamal, where each team member has to fillet and prepare a monkfish.
Which are ugliest fish I've ever seen.
They are very ugly, but apparently they're delicious. Never had it.
Okay,
though, but-
I would try it if I didn't have to see it the way they saw it. Like if they served me a dish with it, I would try it.
Right.
But seeing the way that looked, I'm like, no, thank you.
I mean, understandable. I mean, I will say I was surprised by the amount of people that did skin them all.
Yeah.
I would have figured a lot of teams would be put off by having to fillet a fish, you know?
I would, well, who was the one that's, she goes, I'm in medical school, it's very precision,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
was.
It was one of the girls.
Yeah, it was one of the
But
girls. I can't remember who.
I still am having trouble with their names. I apologize, guys. Still. And can you imagine the smell of that wharf?
I mean, it's gonna smell like a wharf. What do you expect? Fish, fish, fish. I will say, poor Rubina cut her finger doing the skin 'em all, and I was like,
That would be me, you know. I'd cut myself and be like, I'm bleeding, and there's the monkfish, and there's blood and everything. Oh. Yeah, it was surprising how many did that, and then the team that wanted to give up and go do the net instead.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, we can't figure out where it's at, so they went back and did the monkfish. I will say, Tucker and Eric did the Fisherman's Hall. They powerhouse through that like champs.
When it comes to physical challenges, they are really good.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're just. I mean, even I feel like all the challenges, the Rubik's Cube, you know, that's more of a mental challenge. They did great on that.
They did great.
They're very much powerhouse. I mean, Tucker was a powerhouse of the challenges in the Big Brother house. So I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So what I was surprised at, though, is the teaser of the episode talked about the double U-turn. So they get there, Eric and Tucker are first, but they don't use it because they don't want blood on their hands.
Which, I mean, understandable. You know, you're usually in the front of the pack, and nobody can double U-turn you. So why make somebody mad?
But I will say, too, I was surprised that when the clique arrived, I call them the clique, because
They are a clique.
they're the little clique of people helping each other. They all agreed together who they were going to do. And it did look, I will say this, I don't think it necessarily was men against women. It looked that way because they happened to pick two teams of women. I don't exactly agree with their strategy, though.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there wasn't like a bunch of teams with males behind them. You know, you had Taylor and her boyfriend.
I would have done Taylor and her boyfriend.
I mean,
probably.
that one would have made sense. And then you had Chelsea and her dad, which they're not like a powerhouse team anyway, so they're not much of a threat. But who they went, you know, Jag and Jas did Izzy and Paige. That makes sense because Jag and Izzy do not have a good relationship whatsoever, and Izzy makes it known.
By the way, I forgot about their history until she brought it up in this episode.
Yeah.
I knew there was something, but I forgot about it. And then I'm like, okay, that does make sense.
And then Adam and Joseph, you turn Rubina and Christine, which I thought was really out of the blue.
I thought that was very random.
Rubina and Christine have been in the back of the pack for this whole race so far, you know? And I like Rubina.
No, I like
And I'm
Rubina.
like, please don't let
I can't believe they're not showing her and Tucker more.
Well, I mean, they're never in the same spot on the race, though, because Tucker and Eric are so much farther ahead.
Well, let's keep it that way. I'm just saying. So, yeah, they did the U-turns, and then they ended up, both teams successfully did it. I loved the next challenge because you know me, I like to put things together.
Yeah.
I'm like DIYer. So they get there and have to put together these little, I don't know what we call them, sleighs?
They were
little
like Croatian carts.
carts.
Yeah.
Like a skateboard, if you will.
Kinda.
And then they had to put it together, which was, I would have loved to have done this. It's like putting together IKEA furniture. If you can do that, you can do that. And then they had to run down this little street in Croatia in 36 seconds.
Yeah, and some of their carts fell apart. Jag's cart fell apart on the first attempt.
On the first attempt.
Which, you know.
Did you hear what he said, too? I was like,
Oh.
this is somebody who's never put together
Yes.
furniture. He tightened the nuts with his hand, not the tool.
I know, I was like, oh my gosh. But here was my thought. He probably thought they were tight enough to get him down the hill and he was gonna pass it on the
That's
first time. And he was like, I'm not concerned about it. But then he lost all of his nuts and bolts going down the hill.
And then he had to search for them going up the hill in everybody's way.
Exactly.
But that's what happens when you try to take a shortcut.
Yeah.
And not do it right.
Yeah. But this was really the great equalizer because this let Izzy Page, Rubina, and Christine catch up.
Yes.
And there were quite a few teams there. And honestly, a lot of the teams had trouble. Chelsea had trouble putting it together. Simone had trouble putting it together. Chelsea's biggest thing was she could not beat the time limit. She tried so many times.
So many times.
And it was really getting to her. But it comes down to 4 teams at the same time racing for last to try to beat this time.
Yes.
You have Paige, Christine, Simone, and Chelsea. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be tight.
And at that point, though, you kind of know you're in the bottom 4. Like,
Oh,
they all
yeah.
knew that. So going and seeing the people who would then move on, then you kind of know, okay, now it's down to 3. Now
Yeah.
it's down to 2.
It would be a mind twist right there. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
I have to get this done, and then it might be making you struggle even more. Poor Simone, her cart fell apart too, like Jag's, and she kept going off to the side, I noticed.
So, Charlie, you know how we were talking last week about like more activity, more things in the episode? I kind of felt at the end, because the cart was the last thing before the pit stop.
Yeah.
I kept going, shouldn't there be at least one more thing? Shouldn't there be one more challenge or one more? I don't know. I
Yeah.
kept feeling there should be more, but again,
It
I
does
think
feel
it's
like
boring.
this season doesn't have much in its episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's the Big Brother teams, and I'm like, I don't overly care too much about most of them, you know. But
Do you feel in past seasons, I know these are Big Brother people, do they get to know the people more and better make you fall in love with a certain team?
yeah, usually you get more background per episode for different teams. So I imagine they just assume the audience knows.
Right.
You know, because you've watched Big Brother, so why wouldn't you know the characters?
But here's the thing, if you haven't watched Big Brother, you still need the other viewers to
Right.
be invested in these characters,
Yeah.
if you will.
But honestly, some people might not be tuned into the seasons if they haven't watched Big Brother.
I wonder what the ratings are. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I'm curious too.
Well, so we get down to it. Phil is there. Tucker and Eric, number 1. I'm excited. I hope it actually pays off for them this time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
And then of Hannah and Simone, they knew that. I mean, they knew.
Yeah. Well, poor Simone. She was just really
She-
struggling. Hannah was giving her all kinds of encouragement
Yes.
there at the end.
And didn't they do so good at the dance last week?
They
I'm so
did.
proud of them.
Yeah.
And then to put this, oh,
But
so sad.
All the teams will eventually find their downfall.
Here's something I've learned of this season, 4 episodes in. Is this 4 or 5?
This is 4.
4. 4 episodes in, I've learned. When you watch the trailer for coming up next week, do not be sucked in because usually it makes you feel a certain way, and it's the opposite way when
Yeah.
you watch the episode.
No, exactly.
Because it makes me stressed out going, oh, Tucker and Eric, and then I'm like, oh, they're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all part of the tease.
It's just to grab your attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, guys, I hope it picks up in episode 5 and you can catch a new episode Wednesday night on CBS.